Live one-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya.
Hi everyone, happy Monday and welcome to another edition of Jazzy After Dark Artist Talk. I do apologize about the delay. Was having some technical challenges over here, but I thank you guys so much for being patient with us. And again, it's the first Monday of the month and it's Black History Month, as you can see back here. So read a book, discover someone new, whether it's Dr. Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Washington Carver. But discover someone, and Black history should not be just the month of February, but it should actually be every day. Well, I'm super excited about my special guest tonight. He's a pianist, he's a composer, he's a producer, he's an arranger. I promise you, this young man has that it factor, and we're going to have an up close and personal conversation with GINO ROSARIA. But first, let me show you a snippet of what's story tonight. I just wanted to show you just a little bit of why, GINO is just so bad, and maybe he can teach me something, probably not overnight, but hey. But hey, everybody, happy Monday. But don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe to the page. Click the bell so you can get all of the notifications, right? So without further ado, we got Bill. Okay. Sorry about that. We're having some little technical. Can I continue? Let's see. I appreciate everybody being patient with us tonight. You know what? Things always seem to happen like this, and everybody's here, and then we're having to hold up a little bit. But go ahead and share the video and invite your friends and invite everyone. But don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel, and subscribe and like the channel. Make sure you click the bell so you can get all of the notifications about these amazing artists that I bring to the show. I appreciate you all so much. But we have our special guest tonight, Billboard charting jazz pianist, producer, composer, and arranger. Okay, so we good to go? So ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him on in, GINO ROSARIA.
Jazzy, how's it going?
Hey, my brother, thank you so much for being so patient. You know, it's just like everything wants to update. You know, I'm going to blame it on the pandemic and everything else that's been going on.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I get it.
You get it. So, my brother, again, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you, everyone, tonight. Please go ahead and share the video and invite your friends. And again, I appreciate everyone's support. So again, we have Billboard charting jazz pianist. He's a producer, he's a composer, he's a arranger. This brother probably can do just about anything. GINO ROSARIA, welcome to Artist Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I truly appreciate being here and getting a chance to talk about what I do. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, you're so welcome. But you know, it's been so much going on, GINO. Last year in March, and I never thought to myself that I would even live through something like this pandemic. So, like you, your family, your band, and all that. I mean, how have you all been like navigating since this started?
You know, so I really my debut project was in 2019, and it really took off as soon as it released, and we were starting to book shows. Up to that point, I've been playing with a lot of artists as a sideman, sideman or musical director. But starting last year around February is when I started booking my own shows, and we had quite a few things lined up for the year. So I did my first show in Charlotte in February, I think, and then right after that, things started shutting down. So all the shows started postponing or canceling. And so it was hard to see, because we put, well, really my booking agent put a lot of work into finding the gigs, because when you're new on the scene, it takes a lot of effort to get the shows. So she worked hard to get me those shows and to line up a tour for me, and then we watched it all just disappear. So that was hard to see. But fortunately, I was able to stay busy writing music for different artists and writing music for myself. I got a new project that's coming out this summer.
Oh, wow.
And I got a single I'm releasing in April. Okay. So I've been able to stay busy by doing work at home. So, all in all, I really can't complain. And I know eventually those shows are going to come back. Oh, so right. I'm glad I was able to stay busy.
Right. When I think about it, I always tell people the pandemic, it's been a blessing, it's been a curse for some, but for someone like me, and with some things I procrastinate a little bit. I don't know about you, but did this give you some time to kind of refocus and regroup? Because I'm sure before then, like a lot of artists say, it's like gig after gig after gig, and it's like they really don't have a lot of time. But did you find that for yourself?
Yeah, it actually was really good for me. I got to just take some time off and just got some rest and just mentally got away for a little bit. And then when I came back, I was refreshed and I was able to work on the music, got some good ideas. So I think it was good for me. And I was able to make some new connections while while being home,
Right.
working with different artists and networking through mutual friends. So all in all, I think it was good.
Really? Yeah, because you know, and I know when you first came to the United States in 2003, correct?
Yes, yes,
When
I
you
came
first came
for.
to the U.S. And I'm sure everybody that's new to your music, can you tell them a little bit about where you're from and when you first got here to the U.S.?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Curacao, which is an island in the Caribbean, and I was born and raised there, and learned music on the island. I was kind of a late bloomer. I didn't start learning piano until I was 12. Most artists start much younger, um, but we didn't have um, financially we weren't able to afford music lessons
Okay.
for a long time. When I was 12, we were able to start doing it, and then when I was 15, my dad lost his job, so I had to quit piano lessons. So I quit for a whole year, and I also never had a piano. So the way I would practice is I would go to people's homes who had pianos in their living rooms for decoration.
Oh wow.
So I'd walk to their house and bug them and play in their living room, and then they'd be like, "All right, that's enough. We're trying to watch TV. Go home."
Right.
so, but when I was 16, that was a year after I quit piano.
Hmm.
I met this guy. His name is Mr. Daniel, and I was playing for his choir. I was just filling in for his regular pianist.
Okay.
And after I played the first song, he looked at me and he asked me where I was taking lessons.
Uh-huh.
I said, I'm not taking lessons. I'm just, couldn't afford it. So I'm just doing this for fun.
Okay.
And he said, I want you to go to the music school the first of the month and sign up and start taking lessons, and I'll pay for you.
Right.
And so I thought he was just talking. So
Hmm.
at the end of the month, he showed up at my door and at my house, and he gave me a check to pay for the tuition. And he showed up at my house every month for 3 years to give me a check to pay for my tuition.
Oh wow.
And yes, I was very blessed to have him do that for me. And I always felt bad taking money from him. And I always asked him, what can I do for you in return? And he always said, I don't want anything. Just whenever you get a chance, I want you to do the same for somebody else.
Oh wow.
So fast forward, I turned 18. I came to the US, studied music.
Hmm.
And after college, I started, gigging around town, and then now I'm doing shows. And 7 years ago, I started doing a Christmas concert that I do every Christmas. It's a fundraiser concert, and I raise funds to donate to local nonprofit charities, organizations. And I do it in honor of Mr. Daniel, who poured into me financially. In our last concert, we raised about 16 grand, and I get 100% of everything that I raised to the profit, to the
Wow.
charity. So
That is such a blessing. And you know, and I know you have a master's degree. You're in classical music performance.
yes, I actually started off learning classical music, and I didn't get into jazz until I was about 16 when I went back to music school.
Mhm.
Up until then, I didn't know what jazz was.
Okay.
So my teacher that I had, he actually studied at Berkeley College of Music.
Oh yeah.
He We were studying classical music, and one day he gave me a cassette tape of Oscar Peterson, and he told me to take it home, listen to it, and let me know what you think. Well, I came back 2 days later and gave him the cassette back. I said, I don't care for this. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't make any sense to me. So he said, hold on, take it back home. I want you to listen to it for a week straight, and if after that you still don't like it, we'll just leave it alone. We'll move on.
Okay.
So I went back home and listened to it, and then it finally started making sense to me. And then I fell in love with it. And that's how I got into jazz. And then when I came to college, I studied classical music because Oscar Peterson was always my favorite pianist because he's the first person that I listened to. And he was classically trained as well.
Hmm.
So my goal was to also study classical music to develop the virtuosity that Oscar Peterson had
Right.
and then apply it to jazz.
Oh wow. I mean that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I see all of the comments, but Gino, that's amazing because when I think about where you're from versus the United States, did you find it to be challenging where you're from versus when you're being here in the States? because your music there is so, the jazz there, the Latin, the sounds there are just so different to me there to me versus here.
Yeah, it's definitely very different. And the thing about our island is that we're very diverse. So, for example, everybody there speaks at least 4 languages, but that also means that we have a lot of different mix of cultures, and we embrace all that music. And so I grew up listening to a lot of different kind of music.
Mhm.
Um, the biggest difference between growing up back home versus here was that learning resources were not as available as they are here. To
Right.
get a piano book and whatever you're trying to learn was really hard to do back home. As opposed to here, you could go to any bookstore and find it, but
Right.
back home that was hard to do. You had to special order it, and so it was expensive, so it was hard to do.
Right. Because I think about it. It lets me look such a gift and talent from God because there, and maybe it's me. I watch stories, documentaries, and I see so many things from people, from other countries that may not have the resources, like you said, that people have here in the U.S. opportunities. And when you see people that said, "I've never been to school," or, even for me as a little boy, I used to thought I was going to play the drums because my grandmother used to let me get the pots and pans from under the cabinet. It kind of, play with things. But I think that truly tells you that it's a gift, and some people are just destined to, I think, have a gift like this and a talent. And when I hear your story, and people, you should also check out Gino's website. And the website, it'll be posted here on this link. There it is right there, GINOROSARIA.com. So support him, go get his music, purchase his CD, especially Still Waters Runs Deep. That CD is amazing. It is amazing. And Gina, I know you've worked with or shared the stage with people like Karen Briggs, Tim Laughlin, Kim Scott, Adam Crawley, Althea Renee. Wow. That those,
I'm very blessed to be able to perform with those artists. Karen Briggs was the first person that I performed with that really opened my eyes into what it's like to do a show of that caliber.
Mhm.
And from then on, I was able to meet a lot of other people. But um, yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
So, Gina, I'm going to ask you, what made you, was music like your first love? Did you always know, okay, I'm going to be this recording artist? As growing up, is that something you always wanted to do?
I always had a love for music ever since I was a toddler. My dad, my dad loved music too, but he wasn't really much of a musician, but he loved music. So every Saturday, he had a boombox, and every Saturday he would make mixtapes just of his favorite songs, and put one cassette in one side and the other blank in the other one, and he just start recording songs from different cassettes. So I remember that. It's one of the few things I remember from that time of my life. I used to love doing that with my dad, is just picking the favorite songs and making mixtapes. And then I also used to love building little houses with the little cassette cartridges.
Right.
But yeah, I always knew I loved music, and every time I see other kids growing up who had instruments, I wanted to play it, and so I knew one day I would be able to do my own music and actually be able to perform. So I was determined.
You were definitely determined.
Yeah.
Well, so like where you're from, like who are some of like in your hometown? Like, do you have like top artists that we may not necessarily know about over here in the U.S.?
We actually have some pretty good musicians back home,
Mhm.
but again, the difference is just it's not a big country where there's a lot of
Right,
opportunities.
right.
So most musicians back home, even though they're talented, are having to work other jobs to be able to pay the bills.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. So if I came, Gino, I'm hanging out with Gino. If I got in your car or if I came to your house, like who are you currently listening to? It doesn't have to be jazz, you know. And, you know, you may be listening to a little hip hop, you know.
I actually have a whole wall of music,
Okay.
and if you were to look at at my collection, you wouldn't be able to tell what kind of music I like because there's everything in there. I listen to anything that's good. I don't care what genre it is. If it sounds good to my ears, I'm gonna add it to my collection. Whether it's jazz, hip hop, country, classical, you name it. If it sounds, if I feel like it's creative, then to me it's good music.
It's good music. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So let me just, do you think about, I'm going to ask you something related to music. Do you remember when you first heard your song on the radio? Do you remember where you were too?
Yes, I had just purchased a Sirius XM subscription for my car, and I was driving around for like probably a few days, probably about 3 or 4 days after having that subscription. I finally got it. And the funny thing is that I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't realize it was my song until about 45 seconds in, because when you're working on an album, you listen to it so much in the production process over and over again, and then when you release it, you don't really want to hear it anymore. You're ready to listen to something else. So I kind of phased it out. I started working on other people's projects, and it started playing, and then I'm thinking about something else, and I'm like, that sounds kind of familiar. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's my song.
Well, I always wonder about that when artists hear their song, because, you know, I asked a couple of them, it's like, what were you doing? It was like, and until you said that, some of them like, I heard the song, but after a minute or two, and you was like, yeah, I like that. Matter of fact, you know what? That's my song.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I've heard it so much that I don't know if they're thinking like, well, I hear so much in the house or I'm playing it in the studio. And then when I hear it on the radio, I'm thinking, well, you know, I don't, you know, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it's a great feeling because you put a lot of work into an album, a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time. And when you finally hear it pay off like that, it's a great feeling. Yeah.
So your single, that Night Groove song, I love the entire CD, but I love Night Grooves. It's another island, the island song. The CD, I'm just going to tell everybody, you need to go to the website, GINOROSARIA.com. It's going to be, you know, posted here on the link. Go buy the CD. And Gino, you can get the CD off your website and anywhere music is sold, right?
Yes, if you buy the CD from my website, actually, I will personally sign it and mail it to you. So,
wow. Did y'all hear that, everybody? He will personally sign the CD for you. Go get the CD. Go buy one for the car and one for the house. That's what I do. A lot of my friends say, well, why do you buy 2 CDs? Well, I need one for the car and I need one in the house. I know. Right. I love the CD. I do want you to, can you touch a little bit about your project you did? It was called the Groove Symphony.
Yeah, so that project, I did it back in 2016. And my son was born in around Thanksgiving of 2015, my first son. And I used to sit at the piano with him, and I would just let him bang on the piano. And every now and then he would just hit the right sequence of notes that would create a melody that was interesting to me. So I would use those snippets of melodies, and I made songs out of them. And my son's name is Simon, so I named the project Simon Says. And so all the songs that are on that EP were really inspired by my son. Really, you know, I guess when he gets older, I gotta pay him royalties for that. Cause
yes, you do. He's gonna want his money, Gino. Like,
yeah.
My name, Dad, you used my name, Dad. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I really love that. And I know you're in Pensacola, Florida.
Yep.
And you're part of you also work with your church, your mega church?
Yes. I've been playing in church since I was a teenager.
Okay.
And I'm a church boy, so I fully believe that God has blessed me for giving my time back to Him every week. So, I'll always do that. Anytime I'm available, I play for my church. So,
So can we have the name of the church in case I'm ever in Florida? Can we just stop by and
yeah,
see it?
yeah, I play at Marcus Point Baptist Church um, here in Pensacola, Florida. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I know a lot of things have been placed on pause with the pandemic. Do you have any festivals that are coming up that you can talk about?
Yeah. So I have few shows coming up. I'm not the main artist on those shows, but I am playing with several other bigger artists. I got Seabreeze coming up. I'm playing with D. Lucas. I got several shows coming up with him in South Carolina, JAZZIE Lounge, and Tin Pan, and then Soul Dove Underground in Denver.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess the biggest one is going to be that's coming up. It's going to be Seabreeze Jazz over there in Panama City, Florida.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm looking.
hopefully I get a chance to see you at the Sea Breeze.
Yeah, I'm actually playing two. I have two dates there. It's a 4-day festival. I'm playing two of the dates, so hopefully you'll see me.
Yeah, I hopefully, we can check you out. But
Yeah.
so Jen, if you outside of music, if you don't think you were doing music and just listen at you, I'm just gonna assume, do you think you would be in ministry or you think you would be doing something else or teaching?
It's funny you say that because teaching is something that I never had an interest in. At a young age, I knew that I was not going to be a teacher.
Right,
I have no problem doing informal lessons with somebody who wants to learn something. I'll be like, oh yeah, let's just sit down and talk about it. I'll teach you what I know.
right.
But actually do it for a living. I actually did it when I graduated college. My college asked me to stay and teach music,
Okay.
and I taught music for a semester, and I wasn't gonna do it. But my piano teacher said that I didn't like it either when I started. So if you do it, you're probably gonna end up liking it. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I did not end up liking it. I did a good job because I forced myself to,
Okay.
but I I did not enjoy it. And I think if you're a teacher, you have to really enjoy it so you can continually do a good job. Otherwise, you should not be a teacher. That's just how I feel about it. So I felt that performing was really where it was at for me. But if I were not doing music, then outside of music, I'm kind of a geek. So
Okay.
I'd probably be doing, computer programming or something like that.
Like something in IT, you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. But Jenna, also, in this, you hear a lot of people about this industry. They are say the first thing I ask them, like, I love music, but don't go into this industry. But just a little bit. Can you share maybe some challenges that you've even faced? Maybe even trying to get your music heard, or just continuing today, even to get your name out there. Any challenges that you think?
Yeah. Um, I think the biggest challenge for me right now is just the fact that I am new on the scene. Fortunately, my music kind of speaks for itself,
Hmm.
but you have to continually release good music. So releasing an album is always a risk because if you do it right, you put a lot of time and money into it, but there's no guarantee you're gonna get a return on your investment. So um, my advice to every musician has always been you have to have multiple streams of income. You have to have passive income. Um, like for me, I have several sources of income that are passive, and for that reason, I can just enjoy music. It's not about the money for me; it's about enjoying the music, and I'm glad that it can be that way. But a lot of musicians are not able to do that. Um, so for me, I tell people, even the big artists, they don't get rich off of their performances. They get rich off of their royalties, their investments, their all that money that comes in while they're sleeping.
Right.
So to me, that's important for every musician to to have that on their goal list to create passive income, and then let music be just music. You know?
That's true. That's true. Thank you for sharing it. And I want people to see some of your talent. So we're going to go and show a snippet of GINO ROSARIA right here. He's our special guest. He's a Billboard charting pianist. He's a producer. He's a composer. He's an arranger. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jazzie K. Ward, and you are right here on Artist Talk. So let's show some great music of GINO right here. Own concert. I'm just over here having my own concert, GINO ROSARIA. And where were you performing at there?
So that was during the pandemic. I did a live stream concert. You know, everybody was doing at home concerts.
Right.
And me being the perfectionist that I am, I didn't want to just set up my iPhone and and start playing and do a live. I wanted to do a show. So I started this GINO TV series, and we went to this warehouse and we set up a stage and lighting and everything, brought in a production crew, and I did a few episodes of my performances there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. You think you can teach me how to play the
I think I'm a full believer that anybody can learn music. Yeah.
Okay. I always wanted to learn, but I was one of those kids that I took piano lessons for I think 2 months, and then I thought about it when I first heard I always wanted to just come out and start playing like Brian McKnight or somebody or Michael Franks and my teacher, I said, why do I just keep playing this, like Sesame Street? I just keep playing this. She's like, well, there's a method to that, okay?
I always tell people, if you can get through the first like 2 or 3 years, then you're set, because that's when you're going to learn the fundamentals, and then it seems pointless, but those are the most important steps that you need to take to get to the part where you can actually start making music.
Okay, yeah. And I see everybody. Hi, everyone. I see Charles. Happy Monday. Hey, Hatina. She's another great artist. Hey, Renard. Thank you all so much. And if I missed anybody, Penelope, Altris, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm your host, Jazzie K. Ward. My special guest is Billboard charting jazz pianist, producer. He's a arranger. He's a composer. GINO ROSARIA. He has that it factor. And if you don't know him, shame on you. So make sure you go to his website, which will be posted there, and purchase his latest project, Still Waters Run Deep. That's the latest CD that's out, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, folks, you will love this CD. Hey, we got April, we got Smooth Gerard also hanging out on the line. And also, don't forget, get your tickets. He's going to be at the Seabreeze Jazz Festival. You don't want to get that, but you can also check out the website, which I'm sure he'll have more places he's going to perform around the U.S. and you can check him out. So, GINO, are there any other artists that you would like to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Yes, I would love to collaborate with Gerald Albright. I'd love to do some work with Layla Hathaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I actually met her twice, and we talked, and I would love to have her on a project one day.
Yeah.
And Yeah. As far as, I mean, there's quite a few people that I would like to work with, but now I'm blanking out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
I have
understand.
a list. I have a list.
You have a whole list. I'm sure there's a lot. I mean, again, you've worked with, some great artists already, like Theo Renee, Karen Briggs, who I love Karen Briggs.
Mhm.
But that's right, everybody. I see people saying they're going to the Sea Breeze Jazz Festival. They can't wait to purchase your CD. And guys, if you go to his website and purchase the CD, he will personally sign that copy for you. So make sure you go over to the website, GINOROSARIA.com, and check out his great music. What about store? Do you have a merchant store? Anything you sell, like t-shirts or anything, Gino?
Right now, I'm just selling albums, but I'm actually working on starting my own clothing brand, and that's going to be available on my website as well in probably about 2 months.
About
Um, yeah, I didn't want to just sell a T-shirt that has my name on it. I actually wanted to start a brand of different apparels that I think would be attractive for people to want to wear around.
okay. Uh, what about but and again, I thank you so much for having this conversation with me tonight. So you may have young man, young woman is that sees you tonight on this show, and it's like, wow, they go to your website, they see that you do, and you being an indie artist, this is people see lights, camera, action, and think this is easy, you know, and they want to do what you do. But can you, any words of advice or wisdom you can share with us about this?
Yeah, I would say first of all, it doesn't matter your age. It's never too late and it's never too early. I didn't start until I was 12, which a lot of people would consider late. But I also know some great artists who didn't start until they were in their 40s and 50s.
That's true.
So it's never too late. And I also want to encourage you, if you see somebody else who has a obvious interest in music, but they are unable to either buy an instrument or get lessons or get their music books,
Mhm.
if you're able to help out, I would encourage you to do that because somebody did that to me and it allowed me to be here today. If I didn't have Mr. Daniel invest in my life, then there's no way I would have been able to be prepared enough to go to music school or music college and to start and become an artist like I am today. So I believe there's a lot of kids out there who really want to do it, but their parents probably are not able to. So if you're able to, I would encourage you to help somebody.
Yeah, and and I'm so glad that you brought that up, Gino, because you know, I, I think that's what a lot of times we're missing today. And I'm sure in this industry, and I'm sure we don't have to call names. You work with maybe some not so nice people and people that I think that that's what's missing. There's no longer any support, and a lot of people may be out for self. But I think if we had more of that, the world would be a better place. What do you think about that? Because we don't have people support people anymore. You buy my CD, I purchase yours, I support you, we work together. A lot of that is missing.
I definitely agree with that. I've met several who it's like they feel like like somebody's gonna steal their work or
Mhm,
I feel like there's work for everybody.
mhm.
I feel like if it's meant for you, it's gonna be there for you. I never try to protect my gigs, so to speak, or protect my ideas or what I know,
Right.
because first of all, there's somebody out there who knows a lot more than I do, and whoever's trying to get that information from me can go to that other person and get even more information. So I would rather go ahead and share everything that I know, because again, I think there's work for everybody. I think if you work hard enough, it doesn't matter who's better than you or who has more than you. You're gonna find your own way.
That's true. I always believe in that saying, Gino, what God has for you is for you. So,
Exactly.
I always tell people, no matter how I may do something. That next person may not ever do it like you, Gino.
That's right.
So that's fine. And I always say this: share the love. Just
Yep.
just share the love. There's enough love and there's enough room out here for everyone. And that's why Gino Rosaria has that it factor.
I appreciate that.
That's why you have that it factor. So Gino, how can we continue to support you?
Follow me on social media and share the things that I post, like, and invite your friends to check out my music. None of that stuff costs any money.
Right.
It just costs a few clicks on a phone, and really that's really it. I'm not asking anybody to buy my stuff. If you do, great. But really, I just want you to share what I do. That's the main thing that I want. Talk about me to your friends and so on. And also, let's connect. If you like what I do, hit me up on Facebook. I'd love to be your friend, and I'd love to be. I like it when I go to a show and I see somebody that I've been talking to for a long time on social media, and then we finally meet in person. To me, that's just a beautiful thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I can say, Gino, I think when I first met you and I've been playing your music for a while, you do respond. I think when I first hit you up, or even to ask you to come on the show, I mean, and I know you're probably a busy man, but I tell you, people, he will respond to you.
Mm-hmm.
So go purchase a CD, and again, share the love. Even if you have the CD, share the love and go share it with a friend. There's so much music out here, and there's so many amazing artists like Gino and indie artists that trying to have their music heard, and it's all about support. That's right, Nicole. Supporting each other is the key. And she said she wished you the best, Gino.
I appreciate that so much, Nicole. I hope to see you on one of my shows one of these days.
Yeah, we hope to see. But Gino, I want to say, my brother, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being patient. We had some little technical issues but I want to say thank you. You always have my support. Come back to the show anytime to tell me about any new music coming out. And real quick, tell us about any new music that's coming out too.
So I have a new single coming out in April.
Okay.
And hopefully that one's gonna make it on the Billboard as well. So far, I'm 2 out of 3. I've released 3 singles so far, and 2 of them made it onto XM Radio and the Billboard. And so each one made it a little higher than the other. I almost made it onto top 30 on the last one. So got one coming out in April, and so look out for that one. And then I got my full album coming out in July.
In July. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait. If I see you at the Sea Breeze Jazz Festival, we have to connect. I have to come up and say hello or something. So I hope.
Yes.
Pandemic going on. I hope things continue to keep going. So, I could definitely make it to that festival. If not at the Sea Breeze, I hope to see you somewhere even closer or wherever. I have to come see Gino Rosaria.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. And again, come back to the show anytime, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good night, Gino.
You too.
All right, take care. Wow, I mean, another great show, Gino Rosaria. Make sure you go to his website. His latest CD, I love, Still Waters Runs Deep. You need to go purchase the CD. Get one for the house, one for the car. Amazing. Again, thank you for everyone for being patient tonight, for joining the show. Thank you for those who share. Thank you for all those who give so much love. Whether you stay on a minute, 5 minutes, or you stay at the entire show, I thank each and every one of you. Don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio on my YouTube channel and subscribe. Make sure you click the bell so you can get all the notifications about the show. Any artists out there that are interested in coming on the show, my contact information is listed here. Send me your music. I'll be glad to take a listen to it. And hopefully we can have a conversation on the show. Any support you'd like to give, my Cash App information is listed there, and my PayPal link. Okay. Again, it's Black History Month. This is the first Monday of the month. So again, discover a new book. Discover, someone that you have never read about. And Black history is is not just the month of February. Black History Month is every day of the week. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to join me on Friday for Feature Friday, another great artist. National recording artist Michael J. Thomas is going to be back on the show about his new single. Remember, make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to others. Good night.
Capitalize on the strength you possess. Say it like you have an S on your chest. Forget about all the rest. And whatever they have to say about you, tout your skill, rely on sheer will. How about you? Keep going no matter how bad you feel, for real. Bad times don't last, but good hearts will, and they heal. So keep going no matter what all the others say. Dust off your shoulders and go ahead and slay. Hey.
Hey guys, this is Jazzy K. Ward, and I'm so excited to tell you about this new show called Feature Fridays. It's about musicians, writers, actors, anybody that has that it factor, showcasing their new music, new projects, and you're going to have it right here with Jazzy K. Ward. I hope to see you there.